name's Erwin Kawata. I'm the Deputy Manager here at Board of Water Supply.
What are PFAS?
PFAS is actually is the acronym for and polyfluoroalkyl substances. It is essentially a group of chemicals that's used to manufacture a number of different kinds of consumer and industrial products that are things like heat resistant, water resistant, and stain resistant. So some of the most common things are things like non-stick cookware is made out of PFAS, including firefighting foams.
What does PFAS have to do with Red Hill?
The spill at Red Hill had to do with the release of this firefighting foam. It was a firefighting foam that had PFAS in it, and it's oftentimes used to put out fuel fires because it's very resistant to the heat. And so what happened at Red Hill was the delivery system for the use of what is called AFFF, or aqueous film forming foam. That system actually leaked.
Why should we be concerned about PFAS?
So the reason why PFAS is a concern is because of several things. First, it's very water soluble. It dissolves in water very easily. And so with things like if it's got spilled on the ground and it rained, then it can get carried into the subsurface with that rainwater. Number two, and I think more importantly, is that science over the last several years have found that low levels of PFAS can exhibit certain adverse health effects. And that's the issue that's gaining a lot of attention in terms of why PFAS is bad. And then the final reason is that it is a very resilient type of chemical. And so it does not break down in the environment very easily. It can persist for very long periods of time because it degrades very slowly. So those three things makes PFAS a major concern. That's the reason why it's termed a forever chemical. Many communities across the United States, they are finding low levels of PFAS in drinking water, including here in Hawaii. So EPA is setting drinking water standards to limit the amount of PFAS that is in drinking water and potentially impacting exposure to human health.
What is the Board of Water Supply doing about PFAS?
What we are doing in response to PFAS for the short term is to evaluate and test all of our water sources. Have a good, thorough understanding of, is it present in our water sources, and if so, how much? Second of all is to continue monitoring on an ongoing basis, because we really want to understand and track any changes that could be happening in our water supply. For the long term, we want to also do some studies on PFAS. For example, there are techniques to remove it from the water. So conduct our own treatment studies to evaluate what's the best methods for implementing treatment. And in cases where we see levels increasing, plan for that treatment. Fund and plan and construct treatment so that we can make sure that these levels stay below levels of concern that are determined by the regulatory agencies such as EPA.